Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, everyone. We are on day number 4. Can you believe it? Oh, wow, wow, wow. This is Dr. Dwayne Wood. If you are joining us now, that's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. And here on the channel, we help to educate, we help to empower, and we help to encourage you to take charge of your health, avoid complications, live that life you've always wanted, go to the next level. And we are in day number 4 of our 31-day live streaming, right? So live every day in August. That's what we're calling it, live every day in August. And today is a special day because today is the 2-year anniversary of our channel. And we want to send some shout outs to you guys. Let me go ahead and give us some hand claps and get some music. Yeah. For sure, because this is 2 years. We have been on the air doing live shows for the past year, since last year, this time. And we're happy to say that we have not missed a day of broadcasting. We had 2 episodes that we did. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, we were away on vacation and we did 2 episodes that were pre-recorded. But other than that, we have been here with you every Monday night at 7 o'clock Central. And you've been here hanging out with us. We thank you for doing that. And we look forward to some very exciting things coming up in this new season, beginning with live every day in August. That's right. We're here every day in August. And as you see, we have different times, right? So different times that we're coming on. So stay tuned. Keep your ear peeled. If you've not done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you will be alerted when we do go live, so that you can join us. So thank you. If you're out there right now, go ahead, share this with somebody who may need it. If you remember, we are doing slightly different format as we go through this month. And we've been talking about really kind of the empowering part, right? So our tagline, educating, empowering, encouraging, and we've been doing a lot of empowering. And tonight is no different. We are talking tonight about change. How do we go about making change, and how do we go about making sustainable change in our lives? The last couple of nights we've talked about belief. We talked about the wheel of life that we did last night, showing you how to go through that. And tonight we're talking about change. Now, change, as I said, everybody is changing. Everybody is going to change at some point in their lives. And sometimes change can be scary, right? Change can be anxiety provoking because our body, our minds, we like to stay the same. We like homeostasis. That's a fancy word for meaning same, right? Staying settled, staying balanced. And anytime anything happens that upsets that, then we kind of almost recoil. Because remember, our system is designed to protect us. So anytime there's change, right, it begins feeling uncomfortable, and our body says, no, we don't want to do that. Okay, so we're going to talk about some things here to help us go through that. Because change, like they say, the only constant is change, right? Change is happening all around us. If you live long enough, if you live anywhere, if you are alive, there's going to be change. And so let's kind of hop right into it and talk about, let me pull up my my screen here, my teaching screen. There you go. So the first thing is, why do you want to change, right? Why do you want to change? And, everybody talks about this why. Everybody talks about finding your why. And the reason for that is that as we get into change, there are going to be things that come up that are going to try to block us, derail us, right? And we'll talk about that here in a minute. There are going to be things that come up, and it's going to be the why that drives us. Let me give you an example. So I have patients who come into the office and we talk about their diabetes, right? So they're coming in to see me to help manage their diabetes. And so we're sitting and we're thinking and we're talking about all the things that we want to do for diabetes. And I say to them, why do you want to do that now? And they say, what do you mean? I said, well, you've had diabetes for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years. why do you want to make a change now? And they say, oh, I've got tired. Everybody tells me I've got to do it. I don't want to, lose a leg, lose an arm, whatever the thing may be. But unless that why, my answer to my question, unless that why is strong enough, then there's going to be something that derails you. And when you get derailed, the thing that you just talked about may not be strong enough. People say, oh, I'm afraid. Well, guess what? Fear goes away, right? Fear goes away. And if you're not careful, let me see. Let me back up here for a second. I just saw something that popped up on my other screen. Let me see if I can find that. If you're not careful, then you may not be able to get through this change that or this thing that you're looking at, right? So you got to have a why that is strong enough to keep you going. Because if you don't have a why that's strong enough to keep you going, then you're not going to be able to sustain that. All right. So let's hop back over here. So we got to have a why, right? So number one, you got to have a why, and your why has to be big enough that it can see you through some of the things that you're going to encounter. Number two, you've got to define the change you want to make. And that was why we went through the Wheel of Life last night. What is the change? There's so many things that we could change, right? Sometimes we just feel like something has to happen. I'm not sure what has to happen. I'm not sure why I want to change, but something has to happen. And if you're not careful, then you can be going in lots of different ways, right? So that's why last night we spent time for that show. If you've not already done so, go ahead and look at that one using the Wheel of Life, right? So define the thing that you want to change. It could be something in business. It could be something in your personal relationship with either family or friends. It could be your ability to give and contribute to the environment and to the world around you. It could be your personal space, maybe wellness, maybe your health, right? Maybe your social status. Your social circle, I guess I should say. Maybe it's some romantic relationship, right? So something is going to change. And so how do we decide what area we're going to work on? And we've got to do that. If we don't do that, then we end up spending our energy in lots of different areas when we can be very focused. And the more focused you are, the better it is for you to be able to effect the change, to get the change as quickly as possible, right, and efficiently as possible, and then to move on to something else, right? So define the change you want to make. Then next, what we want to do is we want to decide to make a change. Now, this one sounds silly, doesn't it, right? I've already said that I have a why. I already said what I want to change. But yeah, you've got to make up in your mind that you want to change. Because remember, your mind, your body, everything in you is going to be I don't want to say fighting against you, right? But your body's not going to want to change. And so remember, our body finds evidence to support what we tell it. So if we tell it that we're going to change, we've decided in our minds that we're going to change, then the body begins looking for evidence to support what we say we want to do. So if we've not decided, if we're uncertain, right, we're going to find stuff around us that's going to keep us uncertain. That's going to say, well, maybe we shouldn't do it now. Maybe we should wait till next month. Maybe we should wait till next year. Maybe we should wait until whatever happens. So you got to decide in your mind that you are going to change. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to choose your first step. In this change, in this area that I've decided, for instance, I've decided that I'm going to make a change in my wellness. I'm going to make a change in my romantic relationship, in my family or my friends, whichever one you decide you're going to make a change in. Pick a first step on what you are going to do. Okay? Now, in order to pick a first step, you've got to have some steps. That's right. So this is the whole idea of coming up with a plan. Come up with a plan for the change that you want to make. Come up with a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, what they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So we've decided that we're going to, we have a why. We decide what we're going to change. We decide that we are going to change. Now we've come up with a plan, and then we're going to pick the first step in executing this plan. Pick that first step and get to it. The next thing that we want to do is that we want to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Oh, wow. This is a big one. Let's come here. All right. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Now, change is not easy. Change is not always easy. Now, people change for lots of different reasons, right? So let's run through some of those together, right? Number one, people are changed when they're forced to change. Like your boss says to you, hey, you either need to do X, Y, or Z, right? You need to get more calls. You need to make more sales. You need to bring in more business. You need to, whatever it needs to be, you need to do that. Or guess what? You can't work for us anymore. So that is being forced to change. Sometimes people change because of an emergency. In healthcare, right, a lot of times people change. People start managing their blood sugars, their weight, whatever it is, because they have some health scare. They have a heart attack. They have a stroke. For our diabetics, they may have some neuropathy. They may have some issues with their eyes, right? So some emergency. People change also to avoid pain, whatever the pain may be. The pain of being alone, right? So your spouse says to you, hey, you got to take me on some dates. We got to start dating again, or I'm getting out of here. Okay? So the pain of being alone. Or we change for pleasure, either pain or pleasure, right? We want to spend more time with that loved one. We want this job. We want that house. So the pleasure, what are the benefits that we get? So either pain or for pleasure. And so once again, get comfortable being uncomfortable. So what does that mean? That means that there are times when something is going to feel unnatural. Something is going to feel anxiety provoking. Something is going to feel maybe emotionally painful. And if we are going to make the change, if we're going to get the change that we want, then we're going to need to be able to stand in that space and feel that discomfort, being uncomfortable, and know that the why that we came up with is strong enough to get us through this. It doesn't feel good, but we're doing it for a reason. I'm lonely right now because I left that relationship. I'm making a change, but it's for a good reason. I don't like going back to school. I don't like studying. I don't like taking tests, but it's for a reason because I'm getting myself ready for a better job. I'm future-proofing myself. I don't like having to move into a smaller apartment, but it's for a reason because right now we don't have the finances. And we're trying to save for that big house or that house. I shouldn't even say big house, right? We're saving for that house. So there's a reason for it. So get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So that's a big one. And then we want to make sure that we are setting SMART goals. You remember those goals that we talked about? All right, SMART goals. They should be specific. So not like, I want to be well, if we're taking wellness, right? I want to be well. I want to control my blood sugars. I want to lose weight. Well, what does that mean, right? So specific. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to begin exercising twice a week. I want to eat 3 meals at home that I cook when I normally would have eaten all my meals out of the house. So specific goals. They've got to be measurable. So I lost 10 pounds. Yes, I did, or no, I didn't. It's measurable. I could tell. I ate out 5 times versus 4 times. It's measurable. I spend, if one of the goals is to I'm working on my relationship. So I'm going to spend 2 hours a week with my wife, with my husband, with my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my fiance, my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, whoever the relationship is. I'm going to spend 2 hours with them. It is specific, 2 hours, and it's measurable. You can look and say, well, actually, no, I didn't spend 2 hours, right? It is measurable. Is it attainable? If it's not attainable, it could be specific and it could be measurable, but it may not be something you can do, right? So I'm going to pick something silly. I'm going to be able to lift this house by myself in 6 months. Well, it's specific, it's measurable, but do you think it's attainable? Probably not, right? So it's something that is attainable, something that can be done. Now, this is not to limit your imagination, your creativity, and your drive. That's not what this is. This is not to take away those components, but this is something, can it be done? Is it something that is attainable? Can it be reached? Got to make sure that's the case. Is it relevant? Right? This goal that I have. So let's go back to our wellness. Well, sure. Let's stick with wellness. So my wellness is I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. It is specific. It is measurable. It is attainable, right? But suppose my plan is I want to spend 2 hours writing in my journal. Is going to the gym relevant to the journal? The answer is no. So it's all the others, but it's not relevant for this thing, right? So make sure that the goal that we are coming up with is relevant to the thing that I'm trying to work on. And then time-based. Like, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 10 pounds. So it's specific. It's measurable. It's attainable. I can do it. It's relevant to my getting better. But if I stop there, then it's not a smart goal, because is it like 10 years, 12 years by the time I die? Is it like when? When is this going to be? When am I going to look at this and say, okay, did I get there? And when do I need to do that? Okay. Going back to the attainable one, here's a silly example. I've got to get into this tuxedo, which I wore at high school. Okay. For the wedding of my brother that's coming up. Great. I'm 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight. Okay. The tuxedo is like squeezing me to death. I'm almost choking. I can't even get it buttoned. And I've got to do this by tomorrow. It may be specific, measurable, it's relevant, it's time-based, but is it attainable? Probably not. Okay, so smart goals. And then we want to make sure that we make a get back on track plan. We started this out by saying you've got to develop a why. A lot of times, people fail to achieve goals because they get off track. And that is going to happen. If nobody said it to you, it's going to happen. You're going to get off track. And if you don't expect that you're going to get off track, number one, I guess I should add that in there. Expect that you're going to get off track. And then when you get off track, have a plan to get back on. One of the reasons sometimes people fail is that they don't have a plan. They didn't think they were going to go off track. They think, everything was going to be perfect. They're going to start this plan. They're going to get it. It's smart. It's measurable. It's attainable. It's relevant, right? All those things. And they get into the plan. They get to it. And they didn't expect that it was going to go awry. Something's going to pop up. Somebody's going to get sick. They're going to have something that comes up that takes more time, right? They're going to be tired. All of those things happen, and they didn't expect that they're going to get off track. And so they get off track, and now they've beaten themselves. They're beating themselves up, and so you shouldn't have done that. And so everything gets crazy, gets thrown out, right? Because they didn't expect it. The other thing is they didn't have a plan on how to get back on track. They thought they had to start all the way back at the beginning. So their brain says, we're not doing that again. Yeah, we're not going through this again. So they don't get on track. They don't get back on track. Or they're not sure how to get back on track. They want to. They would love to. But they don't know how to do it. So we got to begin building a get back on track plan. Because if you don't do that, once again, if you fail to plan, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. All right. So those are the things that we want to talk about. And this is our plan for making change, to being successful in our change, for having permanent change. Let me say it that way, right? So let's go back and let's run through those again. Let's run through that. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. All right. So remember, we want to make sure that we are doing our why. Why do you want to change? Why do you want to change? Let's go back and let's do this. Why do you want to change? Number 2, define the change you want to make by using a tool, for instance, such as the wheel of life that we talked about. Number 3, decide to make a change, because if you don't decide, your brain is going to stay with you and is going to find things to not make you go ahead and start doing the change. Then choose your first step. What is the step? And in order to choose the first step, you got to have steps. You got to have a plan. Make sure that you are comfortable. You're getting comfortable being uncomfortable, because there are going to be times when it doesn't feel good to make this change, but you've got to know that there's a reason. You want to make sure that you're having SMART goals, things that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And if you do that, then you will have a successful change plan, and then make a get back on track plan. So important. Well, that's our show for tonight, man, for everybody. That's our show for tonight. We are excited about what we're doing live every day in August. And you see, we are empowering you, right? So giving you all of these tools, all of these ideas to help change your mind. And if we do that, we begin taking charge of our life and our health, going to the next level and getting that life that we wanted. This is Dr. Dwayne Wood, the Wood with an E, which stands for endocrinology. And that's what we do. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. We'll see you at the next video. And our call for you tonight for this show is to make sure that you are evaluating your life and begin implementing these steps that we went through tonight to make the changes that are going to be so important in you achieving what you want to achieve as we all move to the next level. We will see you tomorrow on day number 5 of our live every day in August. Let's get some music and let's get on out of here. Bye-bye.